Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another podcast episode of So What You Saying. My name is Tom.
And I'm Sean.
And yes, it's been a very long time since we last recorded, so apologies if anyone was wondering where we'd gone. We've both been incredibly busy the past few months, what with work, with family, band stuff. We've both formed a band together, a heavy metal covers band, because my days of doing originals are long over. Some topics we're talking about today. One of them will be the return of Dragon Ball. And then Sean will get into some WWE stuff because I don't really watch the product really much at all anymore. So Sean usually keeps me updated. I see clips on social media, but I really don't follow it as much as I used to. And then we'll probably round off with some gaming, any games that are coming out in this year that we're particularly looking forward to playing. So you
Yeah,
ready to begin?
yeah, let's do this.
Okay, so I would like to start off with a show that is very near and dear to my heart. I have watched this show pretty much since it came over to the West. I think I was about 11 years old, and that is Dragon Ball. In particular, Dragon Ball Z, because that was the
Yeah,
first thing they aired. That was the first iteration of the show that aired when it first made it over to the UK. And to say I'm a big fan of this show is an understatement. I've watched Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, Dragon Ball Super, Daima. I've watched many different iterations of the show as well. Whether it's the show with all the filler, I've watched recuts, fan recuts. So I've watched all the films. I've been to the cinema to watch the films. So in short, I'm a very big fan
well,
of the
yeah, I was
show.
going to say, what are you saying, Tom?
Yeah. I'm not a big fan. I don't really
Yeah,
like
it's
it
all right.
that much.
Yeah,
But no, I'm a fanboy. I'm a big fanboy. It's one of my favorite shows of all time. I'm not blind to its faults because God, that show has a lot of faux pas. But overall, I love the characters, love the action, love the animation. Just really enjoy the show. One of my all-time favorites. And I was so happy, the happiest I have been for a long time in regards to anything Dragon Ball related, more or less since the Broly film came out in, I want to say 2018, 2019.
so that long ago, crikey,
Yes, believe it or not.
bloody hell.
Because since Dragon Ball Super ended in 2016, with the exception of the Broly film, Toei Animation has their handling of that IP has frankly been a disaster.
Mm,
It's been really poorly mishandled. I have no idea why. It's like someone at the higher ups at Toei has it in for a Toriyama, or they don't like the show, or they're One Piece fans. I
oh
don't
yeah,
know, don't know what it is, but the marketing in particular has been absolutely dire. So you had the ending of Super, and they said sort of kept it very vague about whether it was coming back or not. They said, "Yeah, don't worry, we're just taking a break, and then we're going to bring it back." And literally nothing since then. Then they released Broly, which was amazing. The
yeah,
marketing for that was fantastic to the point I'm convinced Toei had virtually nothing to do with it. I'm sure
yeah,
they did, but it
probably
was
not.
really,
Yeah,
really good. And everybody loved it. I think it's still to this day the highest grossing Dragon Ball film that was ever released in the cinema.
wow.
And then they announced Dragon Ball Superhero, and bar than a couple of trailers, the marketing for it was pretty much non-existent. You
Mm,
had to go deep in. I had to rely a lot on YouTubers to keep me updated because Toei was saying virtually nothing about it.
yeah,
And it's almost as if like they didn't really have any confidence in the product,
yeah.
and it
You
was
know,
all like,
otherwise, you'd
yeah,
be
yeah.
plastering this everywhere, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Broly was everywhere. I couldn't escape it. But Superhero, I was like, seriously, what is this film about? Is it hand-drawn animation? Is it CGI? Luckily, the film was very good.
Yeah,
So I'm happy to say regardless of how they handled the marketing, the film was overall at very high quality. But everyone kept asking, this is all great with these films, but when is Dragon Ball the anime, as in like the show, coming back on? Dragon Ball Super? Is it going to be something else? Because the manga was starting to come out, because the manga continued going after Super
yeah,
had ended, and the manga in particular, this one arc that I'll talk about in a minute, everyone was raving about how good it was. I even hear the general consensus is that this is probably the best arc they've done since maybe Cell. So
oh,
basically it's easily considered the best arc in all of Super, Not that's really saying
Right.
much, but
Well, I
you
mean,
know,
not many villain sagas in Super, is there? But
no, no,
Goku Black, that's about it.
pretty much, yeah. And Frieza making his return for like the billionth
Mm.
time,
Yeah.
and this one arc in particular had the fan base raving about how good it was. You know, few complaints here and there, but overall people were loving it. It was like, oh my God, they've got to adapt this into an anime. Some of
Yeah.
these panels just look amazing. Just imagine how good it would look once it's finally adapted.
Yeah.
And once again, still nothing. The manga kept going. And then out of nowhere, instead of announcing Dragon Ball Super, they announced something called Dragon Ball Daima. And once
Mm.
again, nobody really knew what it was. Um, I mean, bar than, you know, it's coming out on Netflix. You can watch it on Netflix. You can watch it on other streaming platforms as well. Toriyama was working on it. It's something he wanted to work on for quite a while. It's, I think, officially the last thing he worked on before he unfortunately passed away.
Right.
So it was a bit of a pet project of his. And essentially what it was Toriyama saying, I can do GT better than Dragon Ball GT did. So it's
Oh, was that
very,
their kids?
yes, they were all
Right.
wished to become children, but not just Goku. Everybody
Right.
was wished into children. It was quite funny,
Yeah.
very charming, but it was 20 episodes, and as much as I love the slice of life stuff of Dragon Ball, when you've only got 20 episodes, you need to keep that pacing going as
Yeah.
quickly as possible. And I felt like the first half in particular, it was very underwhelming. And then, of course, Super Saiyan 4 makes its appearance in the end, and the last few episodes, it's just like stunningly beautifully animated.
Hmm.
But Daima, although overall it was well received, me personally, it didn't really quite fill that gap from what I wanted out of Dragon Ball content. So yeah, Daima ended, and then once again everyone was left like, okay, so what are they going to do now? Because
What's next?
yeah,
Yeah.
what's next? Is it going to be another more Daima or anything? And then all of a sudden, someone woke Toei out of bed, got Toei Animation out of bed, and said, "Listen, the 40th anniversary of Dragon Ball
Yeah.
is coming up. Maybe we should do something to celebrate that." And the rumor was um, that they're going to be remaking Dragon Ball Super, and I'm like, why? I remember ranting to you
Uh,
about it that day.
yeah.
Why are you remaking Super? We do not need to see Battle of Gods and Resurrection F retold again for I think like the fourth time. So I went in there not expecting much. Toei, it feels like Toei doesn't like this show, and to the point where they even can't get like a definitive version of the show out. They've
Yeah.
left, you know, the fans have gone out of their way to do it, color correcting it, multiple mu language dubs, Japanese, English, different English dubs, etc. Thank you, Seed of Might.
Hmm.
And I was pleasantly surprised to wake up the next day for them to announce that not only are we giving Dragon Ball Super the Kai treatment, meaning we're going to basically sever the show in half and just remove all the filler,
Yeah.
we're also going back and reanimating, touching up, changing certain story elements and scenes. Because if anyone knows Dragon Ball Super, it got off to a very rough start in the animation department.
Yeah.
So they're going to go back and essentially fix it, if you will. But then they're also going to continue it into a saga called the Galactic Patrol, which is the arc in the manga that everyone was basically creaming themselves over.
Yeah.
And we're finally going to see the villain called Moro
Oh,
finally adapted into the anime. And Sean, I cannot tell you how excited I am that this
no.
is finally happening. For the first time in close to 10 years, I have been excited about this show. But I'm also quite curious to see that when they because they're starting with the Battle of God saga again, but I think the original run of the show was 14 episodes. They've somehow shrunk it down to six. So
Oh, wow.
it's going to be moving very quickly. So, and it's
Good.
coming in fall of this year as well. So after saying I'm not going to watch it, after hearing that they're basically reworking it, I was like, okay, I guess I've got to watch it now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And and then we will get the Galactic Patrol next year. So
Okay.
I am a very happy. So a bit of a while to wait, but fuck it, I'll live with that. As long as we're getting that,
Yeah.
just don't mess it up. Do
Yeah.
not stray way too far from the manga. and keep it as violent and as messed up as it is in the manga as well. Like Goku gets like a hand through his chest. So he's like, he's like convulsing on the floor, like on the verge
Yeah.
of death. Gohan gets his teeth knocked out at one point. Moro is an absolute savage. He starts off as quite a sophisticated villain, like he's more of a magician.
Yeah.
He absorbs all life. He basically eats planets. He's like a planet absorber. It sucks all the life essence out of them. That's how he gets stronger. But then he kind of goes down the more stereotypical Dragon Ball villain route, if you will,
Mhm.
where he just becomes an absolutely savage fighter.
Yeah.
Um,
That's the
and
fella, right?
sorry,
Is it the goat looking fella?
yes,
Yeah.
that's it. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
very Toriyama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, because I remember you showing me some of the panels ages ago. And we're
Mm,
talking like, must be about 2 years ago now. And
mm.
I'm, oh, right, fine. They're finally going back to a villain saga because context for myself, I'm a really I like Dragon Ball quite a lot, especially Z. Like you were saying, I remember first watching it back in primary school, like in year six. So what age would I have been then? 10, 11, something like that. And the
That
first,
yeah, I think I was actually 11 as well.
yeah,
Sounds about
and
right.
because I remember the whole craze at the time was like the Pokemon TV show and the games and stuff like that. And I remember a couple of guys were talking about it in my class, and they were like, "No, no, no, no. If you like Pokemon, trust me, Dragon Ball Z is on another level of like, yeah. If you like the sort of the fight and the battle scenes, this is
Mm,
like Pokemon for grown-ups, even though it's still a kids show technically. But do you know what I mean?
mm.
And the first episode I watched was right in the middle of the Namek Frieza saga, and ever since then I was hooked. And yeah, years later, I've gone back and me, you, and Harry have like gone and had like marathons where we've rewatched sagas, especially ones like the Cell saga, Cell games, small time favorite one.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, and then I thought Super was pretty good. I mean, I'm not, as you know, I'm not the biggest fan of tournaments in that show. Like I'm
Truth be
more
told, I'm not either. The only tournament arcs I enjoy in Dragon Ball are the ones in Dragon Ball
Dragon Ball.
before it
Yeah,
became Z, because
yeah,
it's not just, okay, one opponent fights another opponent. There's a ton of character growth that
yeah,
happens in every single one of those tournaments. Outside of amazing fights and animation, stories progress, characters grow, characters develop.
yeah,
Whereas later on, it's just more about let's just make exciting action scenes and
yeah,
not really much other substance, not really
yeah,
much more
exactly.
substance to them outside of that, really.
But when Super came along, it was like, oh wow, we're finally getting the anime back and we're watching it in real time. Like it's
Mm.
made. This isn't like something that was made 20 years ago. This is now, and they got the little nuances of the animation style done really well. And it started off really promising for me with the Zamasu Goku Black Saga. I thought that was absolutely brilliant. It was like,
Well, that was when you started watching it.
yeah, it
Yeah.
wasn't right at the beginning though, was it? There was something.
No, no, because in terms of the animation, the Zamasu arc was roundabout. I think it's called the Future Trunks arc. That was when,
Yes.
in the animation department, they really upped their game.
Mm. So yeah, so that I thought that was amazing. Like, and it goes back to the sort of bread and butter of why I love Dragon Ball for those, you know, archetypal villain sagas, and I thought that was brilliant. And then it got to the Universal tournament with all the gods and everything,
The
and I was like,
Universal Survival
that's the one.
Tournament.
And but some of the characters in there were great. Like Hit, I thought Hit's really cool, and Jiren is just an absolute beast. And I mean, to be fair, they make Goku's just an idiot in that tournament. Though, like some of the stuff he comes out with is just, dude, what happened to you being like going back to like when you first turned Super Saiyan against Frieza and like taking this shit seriously, and now you're just like, oh well, I'll go fight you if you want.
That's one of the biggest complaints people have about Super is Goku regresses as a character, not as a fighter, but as a character.
Yeah,
And it's really jarring because when you get to like the Buu saga and when Goku is around, he isn't around a huge amount during post Cell. It's not really till the end where he starts, he becomes the main character again.
yeah,
But when he shows up, don't get me wrong, he's still a goofball and he still does daft things
yeah.
and
No,
whatnot,
there's
but
elements of it, but it's
yeah,
not bad.
but he's matured by quite a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
He comes up with plans of, okay, this is what we're going to do, this is how we're going to do it. So, for example, he came up with the idea of teaching the boys fusion,
Yeah,
and he's just an overall brilliant tactician,
yeah,
and just when he was around, it felt like, at least for the other characters, okay, the situation's terrible, but Goku's here, everything's going to be okay. He's
yeah.
kind of
It's
like
under
that.
control. Yeah,
Yeah, you feel like things are in control,
yeah.
and he's not making stupid decisions or acting like a complete moron. This idea in Super that he's never kissed his wife before is absurd.
Okay.
So, do you know
Oh,
what I mean?
I
Just
know.
really
Maybe
stupid.
sorry. They were trying to make it more like child friendly, so they didn't want to have that stuff in there. But then it's like, yeah, but it's still pretty violent. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
yeah, just some stuff like he just throws all caution to the wind a lot of the
Mhm.
time, and just we're like seriously outnumbered and outgunned, but sod it, let's fight anyway. Let's put the whole universe. No,
Yeah.
let's put the whole multiverse at
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
because I fancy having a punch up. It's just
That
like,
is essentially it. And people can say, well, that's in Goku's character. It's like, but it
mm,
gets to a point where it's like Beerus was, of course, Beerus, the god of destruction.
yeah,
There's this one moment in Super where Goku says, yeah, we're gonna have this tournament. I've just spoken to Zeno, and we're
yeah,
gonna we're gonna put this tournament together. And to say Beerus was livid, like he was so cross with him that he nearly ended up Hakkaiing him, like
yeah,
erasing him, because isn't it crazy though? No matter how more powerful Goku is, he's still no match for Beerus or
yeah,
even anywhere near close to
yeah,
Whis.
exactly.
Yeah. So, but yeah, just and then everyone's gunning for him in that tournament. It's like, you son of a bitch, you're the reason why we're here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Vegeta's got every right to turn around to him and go, actually, fuck you, Kakarot. You know what I mean? It's like, no wonder he's so angry all the time because he's got to deal with this idiot.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah,
But yeah, easily one of the biggest complaints people have about Super is that
yeah,
Goku's regression into being like how he was at the very beginning of Dragon Ball, but
yeah.
at least he was like a kid, living in the wild on his own, so he
Yeah,
didn't really know
yeah,
much
it's
better.
almost like they make him like overly childish
Hmm.
for some reason. And then like even when he gets like Ultra Instinct, you kind of okay, finally he's been serious because he's like, almost he's possessed by this ridiculous power. He has to kind of take it seriously for a second. And then after that he's just the same old like idiot after that.
Hmm.
I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh, I mean, it's like we're supposed to like be cheering on this guy and you kind of think like, actually I hope you do get your ass kicked because you're an idiot. But yeah, I'd rant over about
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
was my biggest nitpick about that show. Now that they've said that the Moro saga is going to be in it, I'm actually very intrigued by how they interpret it and how the sort of the tables are stacked against them. Because I think Dragon Ball Z, whatever iteration, I think is at its best when they're almost at the point of no return with these villains and they find a way of getting past them. So yeah, I'm pleasantly looking forward to it.
What I also love about the Moro arc, at least what the manga has done before we
Yeah.
move on, is that there's no bullshit. We need to pull another transformation out my ass just to
Oh god.
because
Yeah.
the story demands I get more powerful.
Yeah. So I can change my color, the color of my hair again to something
Yeah,
else.
yeah, essentially. But the ending, of course, spoilers, etc. I'll put that in the title so people know there's spoilers in the video anyway. Um, Goku, no new transformations, no nothing.
Good.
He taps into Ultra Instinct, he gets some sort of control of it, and he uses that to defeat Moro.
Okay.
Because Ultra Instinct was built up to be like the ultimate form of, divine energy. It's pretty
Mm,
much the energy, the key that angels have, that Whis uses.
right.
Goku is trying to sort of control and adapt that energy to his own body so he can use it to defeat bad guys.
Yeah.
And the reason why I think that transformation works, whereas God and Blue doesn't, is because it's something that had been built up pretty much since Goku started training with Whis, all the way
Mm,
back in the Resurrection F arc. Even back then, he was saying you're gonna get to a point where your body is just going to be able to react on its own. You won't even need to think about it.
hence the name.
Hence the name. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And It wraps everything up in a nice bow. You've got all the characters there, not just the Saiyans, but Gohan, Piccolo, the androids, the Earthlings are all there. Chaozu's even there, believe
Oh
it or
wow,
not. Yeah, and guess what? Moro wastes away all of them.
brilliant.
This is the team that won the Tournament of Power,
Mm,
and Moro just dispatches of them. Like, so basically, they have to rely on Ultra Instinct.
yeah,
And what happens is that Goku's just about to deal the final blow, but he doesn't have quite enough energy to get the job done.
right.
So the Ultra Instinct leaves his body. And Vegeta, being smart, is like, whatever energy we have left, we have to give it to Goku right now.
Yeah,
Like, just give him all your energy.
yeah,
And all the Z warriors, whatever you want to call them, give up their energy, and it's still not quite enough. Goku gets some energy back, but it's still not quite enough. He's thinking, "Oh my God, what the hell are they going to do?" And out of nowhere, all of a sudden, this gathering of energy just appears,
okay,
and everyone's like, "Where did that come from?" And so I don't know. Whatever it is massive. And
yeah,
Goku's like, "I'm taking it. I don't know who's giving it to me, but I'm taking it." And then he uses that power, defeats Moro, punches right because he's like Moro's like huge. He's basically absorbed into the planet. He's just like
right,
this one big fat massive mountain.
yeah,
And Goku pierces him right through like this sort of diamond thing, whatever it is, like at the source of his power on his forehead,
yeah,
and then gives everyone the big thumbs up. And it's like, oh, brilliant. And then you later find out that that power, you go to this village out in the middle of nowhere. You see one of the Kais, basically the fat Kai that Boo absorbed
right.
to become like Fat Margin Boo. You see him lifting up Oob's hands
Oh,
to the sky, and he's telling him, he's saying, Sorry, I don't have time to explain to you why you have to do this, but could you just put your hand to the sky?" And
oh
Oob's
wow.
like, "Yeah," and Oob's like, "I don't know why you're asking me to do this, but I'll do it anyway." It was Oob's energy. They
Oh,
finally brought Oob into the Dragon Ball Super
yeah. I was
universe.
gonna say at long
Yeah,
last because he's
yeah,
just
yeah.
been kind of a bit of a jobber, really.
Non-entity. Yeah, he's been a non-entity.
Yeah, literally
Yeah,
after all that whole Boo saga and like how much was lost and and how he came about and okay,
yeah,
yeah, all right,
yeah.
I can
So
accept that. Yeah,
yeah, no, no, it was great.
that's,
Everyone was like, "Oh, that is brilliant."
yeah,
And because they just left enough crumbs there for you to sort of pick up the trail that that was going to happen.
yeah,
And yeah, it was just great because what Goku got there, he basically got the energy of Kid Buu, Pure Buu,
yeah,
whatever you want to call it, Buu
yeah,
in his pure form, reincarnated as a good person, hence
yeah,
name spelt backwards,
Oob,
Oob,
yeah,
yeah. And it's just great. And then there's other arcs that continued after that,
right,
like Granola and Gas and Black Freezer showing up in the end. But the Moro arc is the one which everybody is raving about.
yeah,
And oh, I can't wait. I just
yeah,
hope they don't mess it up.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, yeah, bring it on. Yeah, I'm sure. Hopefully, it's worth the wait.
Yeah,
And like you say, if they're doing a kind of Kai version of it, at least like it'll be kind of filler free to an extent.
yeah, yeah.
That's and that's always a plus because it has a history of a lot of filler. But yeah, no, that sounds really good.
If there's one thing that I hope they do change is the ending to the Future Trunks arc. I thought the way they ended it, he cut Zamasu up with the sword, with the
Yeah,
spirit bomb sword, whatever you want to call it. Uh, it put up aside to one fact that Trunks has never used a spirit bomb or knows how to use a spirit bomb, but he did, but he made a sword out of it. But
mm,
the fact that Trunks was the one that dealt the final blow, I felt was very fitting. It was his
yes,
mess. He got himself out of it.
yeah,
But then out of nowhere, Zamasu's malice still continues to uh, pollute the entire universe, and it's like, well, I guess we have to call in Zeno just to eradicate this time. Like, I hated that ending.
yeah. It's a cop out.
Yeah,
It was just like, oh, it's the reset button. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. I was like, I hated it. I hated it when we used to watch Doctor Who and they
yeah,
just flip the reset switch.
yeah,
I loathe it when they do that. Why did you do that? That was the perfect way to end it.
yeah. Or
There's just
maybe
no need.
their way of like leading into the whole. multiverse shit that they were going to do after that. But still, it's like, no, let
Mm.
Trunks have his moment for
Yeah.
once. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, listen, you had Vegito. Vegito dealt enough damage to the point where he pretty much killed off the mortal side of Merge Zamasu.
Yeah.
Hence the reason why his body was just falling apart because the
Yeah.
immortal side of him and the mortal side of him just couldn't work together.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So he just started rotting, like he looked like Harvey Dent,
Yeah.
basically, Two-Face. So that's why Trunks was ultimately able to finish him off. But no, oh yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
let's move on because I
Right.
could talk about this show all evening, but there's other
Yeah.
things we want to
Yeah.
talk about.
Get Jack back
Uh,
in Monday.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think Jack would be the best person to invite next time we want to have a Dragon Ball rant,
Yeah.
discussion, talk, whatever.
Definitely.
Yeah. So WWE,
Yeah.
let me know
Yeah.
what's happening.
Yeah. Daniel, hello if you're watching. um, we just had the Royal Rumble, and that's usually historically it's been my favourite pay-per-view of the year when it comes to WWE anyway. I've always liked the format of
Mine
the
as
Royal
well.
Rumble. Yeah. Because it's one of those ones you never know what could happen, who's going to come out, if there are any surprises, etc. And yeah, the Royal Rumble this year was in Saudi Arabia, so looks like
Oh,
every
really? Oh, yes, it was. It was. Yeah,
uh,
I saw the photos online. The arena was like, well, stadium was like not even half full.
well, it was a weird one because it was actually made from scratch in about 4 weeks, that stadium. So it started off from being a car park in a desert to a full blown stadium.
That
So
would never happen in the UK.
no, no,
Yeah,
yeah, it's way too efficient.
yeah, yeah.
Um, and yeah, I know what you mean about the seats because they did this weird thing where they put all like these LED lights on them.
Right.
So it was quite. It was about half empty when it started. Towards the end, it did fill up. I think they probably didn't. They weren't too bothered about. And no offense to about the women's rumble match at the beginning. Spoilers for who won. Was Roman Reigns.
Oh no, I know Reigns won. It was all
Yeah,
over my. It was all over
yeah.
X.
And I kind of had a feeling was going to win anyway because he's getting into WrestleMania season. He's obviously going to be in the main event because it's Roman Reigns.
What's the general feedback on that from the fans? Are they happy with it? Are they not happy with it?
I think overall it was, and from my perspective, it was kind of meh. Overall, there was a couple of decent spots throughout the whole show, but
Who's he facing at Mania?
so this past Raw, he came on to basically talk about who he was going to face, whether it would be CM Punk or Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre is,
Oh, it'll be CM Punk.
yeah, is
Yeah.
finally the WWE champion, so good on you, Drew. Yeah, and so he came out, did his usual shtick about, Philadelphia, because that's where Raw took place just after the Rumble. And ironically, it was the same stadium where he won the Rumble back in 2015 and got booed out of the building.
In
And
my opinion, that was one of the worst, probably the second worst Royal Rumble of all time.
oh God, yeah. They just didn't read the room that night, really, did they? Especially when you trotted out Pisshead Wayne to try and give him a bit more of a, yeah, you should cheer my cousin. And then even he was like, all right. But Reigns actually sort of joked about that in that promo. He was like, oh, this is where I won my first Royal Rumble. And the fans started cheering. He goes, yeah, it didn't kind of go like that last time, kind of thing. And then CM Punk came out and they had I'm not going to be able to do that promo justice between the two of them, but they threw a couple of, it started off with your usual, well, I'm the champion. If you want to fight the best in the world, if you want the easy way out, then go ahead and face Drew McIntyre. And then Roman's like, I don't like him, but he's about 4 times bigger than you, Punk. So he's not quite the easy way out. And then Punk's like, well, I beat his ass at Hell in a Cell and took 12 stitches to put him back together. And then Roman, I kind of felt bad for Drew. They're just throwing him under the bus in this promo. And then because Roman's like, well, I've sort of beat his ass for 3 years straight. And then all this sort of stuff. He goes, and then Punk's like, yeah, you and how many of your cousins? And then it started to heat up a bit more. And then I was actually quite surprised that they made the decision this early. Because you know how sometimes when they win the Rumble, then they go to Raw, then they go to SmackDown, then they kind of leave you in limbo about who they're going to challenge until like a few weeks later or even like a month later. But no, they just did it straight away. Roman's like, I'm challenging you, not because you're like the biggest star available or it's on Netflix, but because I hate you. And I was like, fair enough.
Nobody in the Shield who was in the Shield like CM Punk.
Yeah, it's like, fair enough. That's a good enough reason as any. Don't, sugarcoat it. Just be like, no.
Well, don't forget Punk did that podcast with Colt Cabana when
We
he
brought that
first
up.
walked out. Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah, Reigns. They kind of went a bit shoot with it, which I thought was quite good. And Roman was like, "Oh yeah, you went on your little buddy's podcast 10 years ago, and as a result, that made my life a lot harder than it should have been."
Because the whole, you've got to make Roman look strong.
You've got to make Roman look strong, and then when he left, everyone, arenas all across the country kept chanting for CM Punk when he wasn't there. And then CM Punk was like, "Well, you treat this place like, it's somewhere that you come back from on your holidays, and don't forget I was the one who brought you into this business, like with the Shield. Although technically he didn't want Roman, he wanted Chris Hero instead. But
thank God they went with Roman.
Well, yeah, exactly. So promo-wise, okay, so I don't particularly like Punk as a person, but he's still one of the best on the mic, and I think he was quite strong. But I think Roman was, because that
being good on the mic didn't help him in the UFC.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Sorry, I don't particularly like CM Punk, so
no, I don't
ignore me.
Many people do. Really. I mean, okay, apart from like your general fans and stuff, but he's gone way too corporate since he's come back. So for my liking, he's just kissing arse all the time now. So proper company man. But because it kind of felt like Punk was winning the verbal battle, and then Roman just fucking dropped the mic at the end with the whole, we're going to be, because he talked about War Games back in November, and how there was a moment at the end of the match where you had Roman, Punk, and Cody Rhodes were all sort of sitting together. Well, Rhodes was still sort of getting up, and then Roman looked at Punk and pulled him up and gave him a fist bump as if to say, "No, we're cool." But then he looked at Rhodes and was like, "It just didn't do anything." It was like, "This is the last time I ever team with you." So the rumor back then was, it's gonna be Cody Roman 3. Which I'm glad that they've pivoted on, if indeed that was the original plan, because it's like, who wants to really see that unless Rhodes is healed this time? That
story is done.
Yeah, exactly.
It ended perfectly. You don't need to run it back.
Exactly. So they've sort of turned the corner and gone with Roman and Punk, and honestly, it is probably the biggest match you can do with the
I think with who is left in the company. That is, I would say, the biggest commercial from a commercial point of view. If you want to bring in the numbers, I know they don't do pay-per-view anymore, but hypothetically, that is the biggest match you can put on.
Yeah, exactly. So like I said, I was quite surprised, but pleasantly surprised that they got it straight away. Like, right, this is the match, because it gives Roman a couple of months.
It's a big step up from last year, because last year it was Gunther and that wanker Jey Uso.
Oh God, yeah.
I can't stand Jey Uso.
No,
either.
And I think a lot of people are starting to realise that now as well.
I find him insufferable. Sorry, I shouldn't call him a wanker, but I don't.
No, it's this character. It's the character and the whole.
Yeah, it's
shit.
not for me at all.
No. I mean, he had a couple of decent moments in the Bloodline saga when it was at its peak, but after that,
when he was getting beaten up by Roman.
Yeah, exactly. It was quite satisfying. But yeah, there was there was a fucking moment in that Rumble match where Jey Uso's entry is number 25 or something. So his music plays, and you think, all right, he's going to come through the front like everyone else because it's the Rumble. No, he comes down from the crowd doing his stupid shit as usual, and you think there's a time and a place for this, man. Like, people are beating the shit out of each other in the ring, and you're just standing there dancing around like an idiot. Like, come on. That isn't the worst bit, though. While his entrance is playing, fucking Brock Lesnar gets eliminated by not Randy Orton, by Cody Rhodes and LA Knight. But you know how normally with eliminations, it's like a big deal. You go, oh shit, Brock Lesnar. Brock fucking Lesnar just got eliminated. But no, they're like panning back to Jey Uso while his entrance is playing. You pan back to Lesnar, he gets eliminated, and they pan back to fucking Jey Uso making his entrance. I'm like, who put that shit?
The one legit guy on your roster.
Yeah. And he's just done like, it was nothing. You're like, either that was botched, or whoever planned that is a fucking idiot. I can't imagine Lesnar would have been happy with that either.
Well, no, I don't think Cody and LA Knight would be either.
Well, yeah, exactly, because it's a
That's like they
eliminate.
they they've eliminated arguably the biggest star on the entire roster,
Yeah,
and we're looking at this chump come down wherever he's coming down from, doing his
yeah.
stupid yeet thing.
And then he goes back once he's eventually come back into the ring. This is after Lesnar's eliminated, by the way. I thought for a minute that Lesnar was going to do his like thing of he's pissed off about being eliminated, so he just comes in and just kills whoever's left in there. But no, he just walks off. Like what? Like said, he got fucking Uso in the ring doing the run it back, run it back.
Yeah.
By this time, like it's time for Roman Reigns to come out. So he's had all this time for the next one to come out. So Reigns comes out. And then Reigns kind of goes, "Oh, you want to do it back?" Because they're kind of on good terms again now. So he's like, "Oh, you want to do it back again?" And then he starts doing it, and then Reigns just punches him in the face. Stop that! I'm like,
As
God
it
for
should
that.
be.
Yeah, thank God for that. So,
So
so
what's the mania? Sorry, carry on.
no, I was gonna say, so that was one of the reasons why, yeah, that Rumble was shit, and also just there was just some eliminations that just had no kind of payoff. Like you're trying to build up this big star from NXT over Femi. Like he's basically like the new what they want to be, like the new Lesnar to be. He comes out number one, and then Braun Breaker comes out at number two, and you're thinking, okay, these two like proper like just meaty guys in the ring about to beat the shit out of each other, and then Braun Breaker gets attacked by a masked man, and we haven't seen that in a while, and then
Seth
gets
Rollins?
well, that's what they are leading you to think it is. It probably is going to be him because they've done this thing so many times now. God, I just don't care anymore. Like, I just like want to see Bron Breakker kick ass, but so he gets eliminated in about 5 seconds because after he gets attacked by this masked man, he gets thrown into the ring, and then Obafemi just eliminates him straight away. Yeah, so there's that storyline going on with.
Also, Breaker got eliminated.
Yeah, Breaker got eliminated as soon as he got in the ring. So it's just like, oh,
Isn't he
great.
Scott Steiner's son?
A nephew.
Nephew.
Rick
Okay.
Rick Steiner's son. Yeah.
Rick Steiner. Okay.
And they're building him
Yeah,
up.
he looks more like Rick than Scott.
Yeah. He kind of he sounds like Scott though when he's speaking. It's quite funny. Yeah, so like you've got this Obafemi guy who they've got he was in there for about 40 minutes. He got like the monster spot where he's eliminated loads of people.
Oh, isn't he the guy who wrestled Cody Rhodes?
Yes.
Yes. I know the guy on about.
Main event.
Who won that match?
Well, it was a no contest because good old Drew interfered.
Oh, fair. If Drew did, that's all right.
Yeah.
Drew's my favorite guy on the roster.
Oh, he's great. I love him.
He is so fun. He is the only wrestler I follow on Twitter. Or
X. I don't blame you. He's like from the moment they like turned heel again, and the whole program with CM Punk. Some of the memes that he put out were just so good. He did not give a shit.
He just loves, in particular, taking the absolute piss out of Cody Rhodes.
Oh yeah,
like there was that moment where Cena left his armbands, his wristbands, and his sneakers in the ring, and there was this shot of Cody just looking at them, not realizing he was being filmed, just looking like really sad and crying. And Drew retweeted it, and he was like, "Saying, okay, are the cameras rolling? Okay, keep it on me." Like just basically,
he made me sad.
Yeah, make me look sad.
Yeah.
There's a picture of him like when he won the belt. He was posing up to the belt in bed.
Yeah, and his bed on his pillows, like, oh, it's good. Yeah. So good. I'm glad they made that decision as well because I don't know. I think with Cody Rhodes, fatigue starting to sit in a little bit with his character.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, I've noticed he's been getting not quite the same level of like the John Cena treatment back when John Cena was like right at the top, getting pushed down your throats every week.
Yeah,
there's been some smattering of boos with him, and I think changing the championship to Drew kind of did it a favor, I think.
Yeah. I know he does a podcast, the What You Want to Talk About podcast.
Yeah.
He had one with The Undertaker. Frankly, it bored the arse off of
yeah,
him.
Yeah. And I never thought I'd sort of feel that way about watching something The Undertaker does, but he's gone all corporate now as well. So
I used to love the podcast he did with that fella. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, no, because it was his own thing. It wasn't like tarnished by.
Yeah, it was 6 feet. It was called 6 Feet Under with Mark Calloway.
Yeah.
Now it's called 6 Feet Under with The Undertaker.
The Undertaker, and he's got his missus on there instead. So.
Oh, she is insufferable.
Yeah. It's like there's probably a lot of things that he wants to say that he can't get away with now because Michelle McCall's there keeping an
Yeah.
eye on him.
Plus, WWE are like doing their usual thing with rewriting history. They love, telling you something that happened which didn't happen. And this
Yeah,
idea that Michelle McCall was like, oh, she was a game changer, she was the women's revolution before the women's revolution was even a thing. Complete bollocks.
no, it was AJ Lee.
Yeah, AJ Lee, yeah.
Again, it's like, say what you want about Punk and all that,
The
but
Bellas
it
did
was
more than
literally
them.
her.
The Bellas did
Well,
more
even
than
the
them.
Bellas, and oh god, yeah, Brie Bella's back, by the way. So
Free mood.
the Solar Monster loves that.
Oh yeah.
Well, oh god, it's just. I
That
mean,
has got to be the worst wrestler's entrance music of all time.
it's insufferable. And Brie Bella coming back recently was bad enough because you've got all these like actual good women wrestlers going, "Oh, you paved the way for me. If it wasn't for you," I'm like, hang on a minute, like what parallel universe are we living in where Brie fucking Nikki Bella is like the sort of be all and end all of women's wrestling?
No,
It's like, come on, and Brie was even worse.
If anything, Trish Stratus,
Yes,
Trish Stratus, Lita, Alundra Blaze,
yeah,
China.
Gail
There's
Kim.
4 women. Gail Kim. There are like 5 women right there that did way more for women's wrestling than Nikki Bella. It's because
Yeah.
she was married. She was nearly marrying John Cena at one
Well,
point.
yeah, she was Nikki Cena
Yeah,
for a long time, so she got sort
yeah, yeah.
of pushed down our throats. And then you obviously Brie Bella was, married to Bryan Danielson. So that was the thing. It was like when she came out at the Royal Rumble, everyone was doing the yes chants. It's like, oh, they're not even cheering for you; they're cheering for your old man. So it's like, come
What
on.
is Daniel Bryan doing nowadays? Is he still in AEW?
Yeah, although from what I understand, and correcting the comments for this, anyone who's like more au fait with AEW than me. Well, I think he got like really badly injured again, and then he started doing commentary. I think so. I think he's
Oh, so he's become Taz then.
pretty much, yeah. So yeah, I don't know if he's like completely gone from in-ring action or not, but that's the last thing I knew that he was doing. Yeah. So, but probably the most poignant thing on the Rumble and the best thing about the whole show was the AJ Styles Gunther match, where if
Oh
AJ
wow, was that a good match? I
really,
like Gunther actually. I'm not.
yeah,
I don't. There's not any. I'm not a huge fan of really any of the new guys.
yeah.
Mainly because I don't follow the product that much. But one guy I do like is Gunther.
Yeah, he's like a proper old school
He
heel.
just seems legit.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
makes you can suspend your disbelief with him.
yeah. And a lot of people go, "Oh, he's boring and stuff." I'm like, no, he's just because he's not like flip flopping around the ring at a million miles an hour doesn't mean he's boring. He's got.
There is a reason why all the old school guys like Austin, Taker, whoever, Kurt Angle, they
Yeah,
always say Gunther's one of the best
yeah.
because he has absolutely nailed psychology.
Oh yeah,
Psychology is the most important thing you have to get right when you're
100%.
wrestling because you are not in a real fight. It's a performance. You
Yeah,
know how it's going to start, you know how it's going to end. It's up to you to fill the gaps in between. But it is a performance, it's
yeah,
theatre, so it's a soap opera. So the only way it works is if you make it seem like these people are in a legitimate fight. You suspend your disbelief. You just get
yeah,
absorbed into the psychology and, of course, the stories. The storylines are
yeah.
important as well, but ultimately it's the psychology. Like Bret Hart was the master of
Oh,
psychology,
the king. Yeah,
the absolute king. He could have like a 30-minute match, and even though he's not gassed at all, he's literally. I think Austin said something on his podcast with the Chris Van Vliet recently. He'd be looking like he's sucking wind when he's
yeah,
not. He's perfectly fine, but
yeah,
he gives the impression like I've just gone through hell and back with this guy. I'm exhausted,
yeah,
and it makes you get absorbed into the fact like that was a proper fight that I've just
yeah.
watched.
The moves in the ring, they do actually. They're not just CGI. They
Yeah.
have to do them, and they
But
have.
bear in mind, they're wrestling like 3 or 4 times a week as well.
Yeah, and bumping on that mat like hundreds of times a week, it's going to take a toll on your body, no matter who you are. But yeah, going back to Gunther, it's interesting because he's lost a hell of a lot of weight in the last few years. Because when he started in NXT, he was quite
Yeah.
a big guy, and then he sort of trimmed down. So his physique isn't like your typical. ripped six pack. It's more of a kind of, this guy could beat the shit out of you. He's sort of he's solid,
Sort of
and
reminds me of those boxers physique you get back when like Queensberry rules were introduced.
yeah,
Like the old, like you see them, on the old posters and whatnot. Sort of
yeah,
like
a
that sort
bit
of
of
physique.
fisticuffs,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Queensbury rules, and all that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and because they've basically monikered him now as the career killer because he beat Goldberg in his retirement match. He beat
Thank
John
God.
Cena. Thank God. He beat John Cena in his retirement match, which for some reason people are still like up in arms about, even though that is a match that he announced that he was
Why are they up in
retiring.
arms about it?
Well, it's to do with the thing that he's going on about. Oh, I made John Cena tap out like a little bitch and all this. And
So
it's like,
people are upset with Gunther because he beat John Cena fair and square in a wrestling
yeah,
match.
in a scripted fight. Yeah, that John Cena was obviously okay with because
Yeah.
otherwise he would not have gone ahead with it. And
Never give up, kids, unless it's your last day.
well, that's a lot. Like, oh, it's so terrible the way Cena gave up. He betrayed his whole character, and I'm like, I disagree because it was him sort of letting go rather
I
than
watched that match, by the way,
yeah, and
and yeah, I agree. I just read it as,
it was just like,
I'm
okay,
done. I don't have
I've
anything left.
this is all I've got, and that kind of smile was
Mm.
kind of like, yeah, it's time to go.
Mm.
I quite liked the way that
Yeah,
that sort of played out.
because what does it do for Gunther, Cena winning?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Exactly.
Literally nothing.
Yeah, and John Cena, whether you liked him or not, throughout his whole career, he's always been, the ultra traditional guy. Like the
I mean,
proper.
it's one of those annoying things where he was booed by a huge, like half the fan base for almost his entire career.
Yeah,
And now they're like, "Well, please don't go. We want you." It's like the wrestling fans are just so fickle. They're
fickle
just so
bunch.
fickle.
Yeah,
They've hated Cena there almost, at least the old school fans. They've hated Cena almost his entire career, but now he's retiring. Oh, don't go. We love you.
yeah.
Whatever, man.
I think. I
He
mean,
should have won his last match. I mean, this guy has gone over so many other talented wrestlers, like who were up and coming. Kevin Owens, he won the feud with AJ Styles. He
yeah.
he won feuds with Randy Orton, Daniel
Bray Wyatt.
Bryan, Bray Wyatt, not Daniel Bryan, Bray Wyatt,
Yeah.
the Nexus, Edge. I mean, the amount of Batista, Triple H, Shawn, like
Lesnar
he's got
the first
Lesnar,
match,
Lesnar.
that he should have like legitimately got his ass kicked. He still won.
Geezer went over everybody,
Yeah,
but now he's retiring. He must go over.
yeah.
No,
The same
no,
people that
it's
were
not.
bearing everyone for all these years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where's the consistency?
Cena, I think, is old school.
Yes.
He knows that I'm on my way out. It's a time on a tradition now. I'm on my way out. I must go out on my back. I have to put the guy over.
Yeah.
And I totally agree because it does absolutely nothing for Gunther. It's bad enough that he tapped out to Uso of all people.
Which is that seems to be lingering now. Whenever like he comes out, and you tapped out, but he goes, I did.
Mhm.
So John Cena did. So yeah, but they're the whole AJ Styles match now. So there was talk of him probably this was going to be his last year before he hung up the boots
Yeah.
because he didn't want to go out like not doing the best that he could. So after Gunther retired John Cena, after a few weeks he was like bragging about it. And why wouldn't you if you're Gunther and you're a heel? That's what you would do. AJ Styles sort of took exception to it, and at first I'm thinking, well, you weren't exactly best mates with Cena in
No.
the first place, like
Beat up John Cena.
yeah, and okay, you can say, oh well, over time you grew to respect him, blah blah blah. Okay, whatever. So then they had a match on Raw, and then Gunther, he didn't need to cheat to win against Cena, but he cheated to win against AJ Styles. Make that make sense? I don't know. I prefer AJ Styles as a performer, but yeah, just like when you considering like Cena's their so-called greatest of all time, and yet he struggles against Styles, doesn't make sense. Anyway, so then Styles is like, because he like basically he tapped out, but the referee couldn't see it. So then he gave Styles a low blow, power bombed him, won the match. Next week, Styles goes, I know I can beat you, and you were tapping out, so I want a rematch. And Gunther goes, no. Literally just goes, the answer is no. I don't need to prove anything to you. I'm going to go to the Royal Rumble. And then AJ Styles goes, "Oh, what? So you're a coward then?" You know, the usual kind of goading him into it. And then Gunther goes, "Actually, do you know what? I will fight you, but you got to put your career on the line." And then AJ Styles sort of thought about it and was like, "You're on." And it was kind of surprising because you'd think he had a whole year like Cena did, but he's already putting it up in like January.
So he's actually done now.
Well, this is the thing. So they had the match at the Rumble. It was better than the first match I thought they had on Raw. Gunther won. Okay, it was a little bit of shenanigans where he gave Styles a low blow out of the ref's sight, and then he did the whole sleeper hold spot that he did with Cena. But AJ didn't tap out; he passed out, and then that was it. So when he woke up, he was like, kind of, like, what's just happened? And then he kind of stood in the ring and was kind of like, he was about to take his gloves off, put him in the middle of the ring, and then he put him back on again. But there's things about, is he done completely or is he just done with WWE? Because, you know, he could go back to TNA where he first made himself. People are thinking maybe he could go to AEW, have a load of good matches there. We don't know. But
just to make a point, that's one thing I've always loved about AJ Styles.
Yeah.
No matter which wrestling company he's gone to work for, he's always made a big success of it.
Yeah.
TNA, New Japan,
and yeah,
WWE, and I reckon if he went to AEW, he'd be wearing that championship belt, but not.
Oh yeah, and some of the dream matches that he could have there on his way out, because when he was talking about retiring before, when he wanted to challenge Gunther, he was like, "Oh, there's loads of locker rooms that I haven't competed in yet that I'd quite like to, test myself on." So that was a kind of little nugget of, okay, you said locker rooms, so maybe you would go out back to TNA and stuff like that. So we don't know, but
TNA I could see. I don't think he'll go to AEW.
No, I don't think. I think WWE will probably pay him a lot of money for him to be like, right, do TNA, sign a Legends contract, be a producer backstage or something, and then
because TNA and WWE have like a working relationship, don't they?
Yeah, it's not. It's a weird. WWE don't own TNA, but they've got got contractual kind of friendliness with them or something. I'm not sure exactly how it is.
It's like a territory type thing.
Yeah,
it's just the two of them.
Yeah, but I think that it's kind of like in football where you've got like a big club in the Premier League and then there's another club that's a smaller one in a different country that is like under the same ownership. So they're kind of like a feeder club. So sort of when they get their best players, they kind of then get the pick of them, sort of thing. So it's kind of like that, I think.
Yeah.
So that was the Royal Rumble, really. The women's match was all right. They had Liv Morgan won, which again was no surprise, really, because I think they're bigging up the whole Judgment Day split. Finally,
they're still together.
They're still together, yeah. Although they're kind of trying to big Finn Balor up now because CM Punk needs something to do while Reigns is on his 17th holiday of the year. So between now and WrestleMania, and he actually when they were in Ireland a couple of weeks ago, CM Punk defended the title against Finn Balor, and it was like he brought his old theme music back, and it was like, see, this is how much a difference a wrestler's team make.
Sorry, say that again.
No, you go.
Sorry, Finn Balor brought back his old.
Yeah, so Finn Balor brought back his old and it was great because it was like, oh my god, it's like he'd been away for 5 years and then come back, and it was like, yeah, Finn Balor's back, proper Finn Balor, not this weird Death Rebel crap music that he's had for the last god knows how long, which is just like, honestly, I'd never know who it is whenever I hear that music until he comes out. So that was great, and Punk won, but it was completely like fair. Finn didn't try to cheat, even though he's technically a heel, but on that night he was a babyface because he's in Ireland.
Yeah.
And then he shook CM Punk's hand. They sort of showed a bit of respect to each other, and he thought, okay, maybe they're teasing Finn Balor being turning babyface. Obviously, the following week, Liv Morgan's like, basically, what the fuck are you playing at? Why are you like shaking hands with him? He's like basically big leagued you in your own country. The master manipulator that Liv Morgan is. She's basically the leader of the Judgment Day now. So then he kind of, it's almost like he got a bit of a bollocking from his mum. So he's like, oh, I better make amends for that. So then he ends up attacking CM Punk at the end of that show because it was CM Punk and AJ Styles for the first time, and then they had a good match. But then Balor ended up interfering, attacking Punk, and then next week Balor goes, "Oh, I want to be in the Royal Rumble," but then Adam Pearce, the general manager, goes, "Sorry, mate, it's full." So he's like, "You what? How can it be full when you've got like people like Mr. Iguana in it, but yet you can't put me in it? Like, what the hell?" And then they did a video package just gone, and they're kind of hyping Finn Balor up to be kind of relevant again, I guess. And like, I'm not a bad guy, but I'm willing to do bad things to CM Punk to get that title, blah, blah, blah. And that's why just before Punk spoke to Reigns, you know, that meme picture now where Reigns is kind of looking at him like that, because he goes straight to
the one you're
talking about Finn Balor. He's like, "What are you talking about Finn Balor for?" But he's obviously gone, "Right, I'll get my hands on you, blah, blah, blah." So that's going to be like the feud while Reigns is buggered off for a month or so.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the sort of highlights, I guess, of what's going on at the moment.
Just before we wrap up, I thought we could spend a few minutes just talking about some general gaming stuff. I'm actually quite curious because, you know, we're not too far into a new year now. And I was actually browsing through earlier today the games that are looking to be released this year.
Yeah.
And while I'm sure there'll be a few surprises, I mean, last year for me, Expedition 33 was by far at least about all the new games that came out last year, it was by far my favorite. But it just wasn't on my radar.
Yeah. Sometimes those are the best.
No, exactly. But outside of Resident Evil 9, I'm a huge Resident Evil Requiem, whatever you want to call it. I'm a big Resident Evil fan of that I'm a huge fan of that franchise. It
Check
might be
out the videos Tom and Harry did on that.
Exactly, yeah. We ranked all the games, at least all the games we played,
yeah,
in a tier list format. But it might be my second or third favorite gaming franchise of all time. I absolutely love it. But outside of Resident Evil 9 and I mean GTA 6, it's looking like it is going to be released in November this year. I'm sure that may or may not change.
Yeah.
But even then, it's not coming out on PC, and I don't really play consoles that much nowadays, so I won't be. I mean, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm not like desperate for it to come out like loads of other people are. I feel like I'm really in the minority, and it's not because I dislike GTA. I'm just a much bigger fan of the Red Dead franchise. If this was like Red Dead 3, I was like, get this out now. I have to play it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I'm sure it'll be awesome nonetheless.
Yeah.
And there isn't really anything else that really piques my interest.
Yeah, I don't know, like in terms of like the big franchises, if there's anything like major coming along. I'm just sort of I've leveled up now. I have a PS5 finally since the last video. I finally got
Speaking of Resident Evil, I am shocked you don't play more of that franchise.
I know, I will. I don't know. I have. Maybe it's because I hadn't got into it young enough to really have grabbed me so much.
If you want my advice, I don't know if it's on sale at the moment, but I'm sure it's not as expensive as it used to be. You've got a PS5, play the Resident Evil 4 remake.
Yeah,
I guarantee you will love that game. It is amazing.
Yeah, no, I will. I think that's a good way of really getting back into it. You know, I replayed a couple of the old games, but I guess it's a bit clunky for me these days. So I think I'll go and do the remakes instead. And
no, the remakes
will be fine.
All the remakes they've done, the exception of 3, because the remake of 3 was really underwhelming, have been excellent. You may find the remake of 1 a bit clunky, but it has analog control, but it's a little bit clunky to control. But you know, if you're used to tank controls, give it a go. But the remake of 2, Harry, if you're watching this, I mean, that's like one of his favorite games of all time. It's his favorite Resident Evil game. It is outstanding.
Yeah.
And the remake of 4 is also brilliant as well. But you could even give Resident Evil 7 a go as well if you really want that, you know, survival roots, you know, horror-esque, not really action-orientated Resident Evil game. 7 is amazing. Pretty much saved the franchise.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Yeah, I will go and check them out because I do like aspects of survival horror. Like I think I said before on the gaming top 10 games we did. I'm not like a massive like zombie guy, but I do like the more sort of psychological aspect of it, like Silent Hill, for example. But I do.
Oh, you could even give that a go. The Silent Hill 2 remake was really good as well.
That's definitely something I'll probably end up playing before that because it's more interesting to me. But Yeah.
By the way, I don't want to give anything away, so I'm going to try and keep this a spoiler free for you. But there's an area in Silent Hill 2 which you visit. It's the same in the original, but
Yeah.
the remake, you go to, it's called like the Toluca prison.
All
It's
right.
roughly round about just past the halfway point of the game.
Yeah.
So you have like this prison followed by this labyrinth level, and put it this way, let's just say you'll be very glad once you finally left that area and you can see sunlight again.
All right. Okay.
I was getting anxiety playing that
Yeah.
because the only light you've got is like your little dinky torch,
All
and
right.
oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Tough.
but yeah, it's very intense. Put it
Yeah.
that way.
No, fair enough. No, I've been sort of playing little games that have kind of gone under the radar since I've got the PS5 because I watched like it was like a couple of YouTubers did like reviews of like their top 10 games of the year and so forth.
Yeah.
And a couple came up. One of them was a game called Blueprints. Don't know if you've heard of that.
Yes, yes, I have. It's
Yeah.
meant to be really good.
Yeah, yeah. It's so addictive, and it's quite simple in its format in terms of, you know, your grandfather has left you an inheritance, which is this massive house.
Yeah.
But in order to actually claim the inheritance, you have to find room 46 in a house that only has 45 rooms. So a lot of
Uh,
it is it's like puzzle based, but there's so many little nooks and crannies you can go from, and then you have to really be careful like how you plan each room because if you run out of basically if you get a certain amount of steps that you can walk allocated to you, and if you run out of those steps, then you have to start again the next day.
uh,
So and no 2 days are the same, like in terms of the layout of different rooms and stuff.
uh.
So it just
Is it
got
an
me.
indie game?
Yeah, it's like a double A title, but
Mhm.
I highly recommend it. It's very addictive, and there's so much little lore bits as well that I've missed, and there's a lot more to it than
Mm.
just the first time. So I've spent about 40 hours playing that.
Oh wow, okay.
But it's very addictive and it's a lot of fun. So
Well, I
there's that.
might give that a go then.
Yeah, yeah, honestly, I think you'd
I mean,
enjoy
I've
it.
heard of it. I heard everyone was saying it was great.
Yeah,
Some were even arguing it could be considered for game of the year, but I don't think it quite made it into that category, if I remember correctly.
yeah, yeah. I'm not sure, but I'll definitely give that a go.
By the way, do you know that Expedition 33 is now the video game that's won the most amount of awards out of any other video game in history?
Yeah, that's insane,
It's
isn't it?
beaten Elden Ring.
Yeah, that's mad. I've got that on my wish list. I've got the trial version, so I'm going to
Oh,
start
I
playing
loved it.
it soon.
I loved it. You know, there's something that happens at one point in the game which will either make you really appreciate the game even more, or think that's a bit naff, but I'll run with it. I mean, when you're going to collect your award for winning Game of the Year, and Hironobu Sakaguchi, the godfather of Final Fantasy, is congratulating you over
Wow.
it, you know you've done something good.
Yeah,
Hironobu Sakaguchi is like my gaming god.
yeah,
He's worked on some of my all-time favorite RPGs of all time, Final Fantasy 1 through till 9, and I think he had some involvement in 10. He
yeah.
worked on Chrono Trigger, just Final Fantasy Tactics, just amazing, amazing
I've
games.
got,
And
yeah,
frankly, the franchise hasn't been the same since he left or stepped down as director.
yeah.
So, 4 to 10 in particular, just fucking amazing
Oh yeah,
games.
but unbeatable. Yeah,
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 amazing. But yeah, no, I really look forward to picking up Resident Evil 9. Capcom have put a ton of marketing to it. You should check out. They recently released this short film. It's about 5 minutes,
yeah.
and it's about this mother trying to protect her daughter when the outbreak in Raccoon City first broke out.
Right.
And the daughter's like narrating, or she's like doing this voiceover, and it's just harrowing to listen to.
Wow. No,
Absolutely
fair enough.
harrowing. And everyone who watched it, you look at the comments, everyone is saying, whoever directed this, get them to direct the next Resident Evil film.
Yeah, yeah.
Get them to do it.
I'm
Yeah.
not sure about like many games. I know I'm just again talking about games that I've been playing. I know before we started recording, I got a game called Dispatch, which is
Yeah.
it's kind of like I think it's the same people that worked on the Telltale games work on
Hmm.
this, so it's like an episodic thing, and I absolutely love the Telltale format. So
Yeah, I
uh,
did as well. I particularly I played quite a few of them, but the one that really stuck out to me, of course, was the Walking Dead one.
oh right, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Look, the Wolf Among Us was great as well. It's
Yeah,
probably
that was great. Short-lived, but yeah.
yeah. So it was good to hear that they were coming back in a way, and then it's very much on the lines of the animation style is very like it's like Invincible. Don't know if you've seen that.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, I
on
know the show. I know the show.
Yeah, and you've got Aaron Paul lending his voice for it, which I thought was quite
That's
cool. And
cool. Yeah.
it's basically like but it's like a dispatch. He works as like in an office, basically running dispatch missions for dodgy superheroes, and like how basically they used to be villains, and now you got to try and sort of reform them into actually being good, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I've only just started playing it, but from what I've told so far, I'm quite enjoying it. So there's that. It's funny enough, since getting a PS5, I haven't actually played anything that's very graphically intense. Ironically, it's been more
I was
story.
actually speaking of graphically intense. I was speaking to my brother the other day, and we were debating about when graphics peaked,
Yeah.
and we sort of pinpointed the point, and there seems to be a similar consensus online as well, is that when Arkham Knight came out on the PS4,
Mm,
still to this day, that game looks amazing.
it does. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and that really is like graphics. I mean, they've improved a little bit here and there,
Mm,
and technically games have improved in terms of like console wise, almost eliminating load times with some games.
yeah.
But graphically, outside of ray tracing, there hasn't been a massive jump
Yeah.
since
I
the
must admit,
PS4.
like, I think the PS4 is still like that pinnacle. Like, I
Mm,
know there's some games that I've got on the PS5 now that have PS4 versions for them. So like, I downloaded the Witcher 3 PS5 version, and it's like, yeah, it looks beautiful. It does feel a lot smoother, but other than that, there's not really much difference.
it's not Metal Gear 1 to Metal Gear 2 jump. Metal
No,
Gear Solid 1, I mean, to Metal
yeah.
Gear Solid
Oh
2.
yeah, no, because I always think when you first said about like the peak of my first thought was that era
Mm,
going from PS1 to PS2. It was like another world.
mm.
But obviously, in terms of overall, I think graphically it has kind of peaked. I mean, even with something like Death Stranding, I've
That
played.
might be the only game that I've seen where graphics have evolved to another level. I'm sure there are others,
Yeah,
but I mean, looking at the facial animations alone
yeah,
and all the, all the, Norman Reed, how they've captured Norman Reedus' face,
yeah.
like you look at how he looks in that game, and it's almost photorealistic.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's proper like movie quality, isn't it?
Mm.
And I played a bit of Death Stranding too, and from what I've seen, there's not much jump up in graphics from that to between that and the first one. But I just think because the first one was so
Well, I
much.
don't know. If you look at the comparison side by side,
Yeah,
particularly in the character models and the facial animations, it's a pretty noticeable jump.
yeah. Maybe I still haven't played much of it yet,
Mm.
but it was mainly sort of like the landscape. It's
Mm.
still I still thought it was not like it wasn't good or anything, but I just thought
Mm.
yeah, it just feels a natural progression from when
Mm.
I'm from playing the first one. So yeah, I mean, who knows about like whenever Elder Scrolls 6 is coming out? I don't know if that's ever going to come out or if it is.
For all the shit people give Rockstar over GTA 6, at least they've released trailers and give regular updates,
Yeah,
somewhat kind of. Well, I suppose it's kind of regular
yeah,
update. So usually the update is that we're delaying it again, but an update's an update.
yeah, exactly.
Whereas with Bethesda, they released this one still image of Elder Scrolls 6, and there's been nothing about it since, bar than Todd Howard going, "Oh, we're working on it."
Yeah,
But in the
yeah,
meantime,
right.
here's Starfield, a game that literally nobody asked for.
No, and
You've got No Man's Sky, you've got all these other games, and why would anybody want to play Starfield?
the
Just a
idea of
version
Starfield
of it.
was the idea of Starfield to me was like amazing. I was like, what? It's basically going to be Fallout and Skyrim in space, sci-fi version. That's great. But then it's like, no, I mean, I haven't played it myself, but just seeing reviews and gameplay, and it just looked like a big waste of time. It's like they're just filling out space for when they can.
They need to retire that engine. They have to
Oh, you
update
have,
their
yeah,
engine or come up with a new one because
yeah,
it is really showing.
yeah, yeah. So who knows? I mean, I'm not getting my hopes up for that, considering how badly Starfield did. So
Yeah.
we'll have to
The,
wait and
the
see.
the only reason why people will get Elder Scrolls 6 is
Yeah.
because they, certainly for PC gamers, because the modern community will be
Oh yeah.
all over it.
Oh,
It's
100%.
it's arguably the main reason why people are still playing Skyrim as much as they are.
Yeah.
Because you go on the Nexus site, it's got thousands upon thousands of mods.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and there's still
I don't know many people who play. Even people who play consoles. I don't know really anybody who plays the vanilla game anymore, even
no,
on their console versions, because you can download mods on consoles now.
yeah, it's not as immersive, but there's still some
Mm.
decent mods on there.
Yeah.
I've modded my
Mm.
PS4 there. I mean, I've downloaded it for PS5 again because, of course, I have to get it on every console.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so I think the vanilla versions of those games are kind of a thing of the past now. I mean, I'll probably play it through like as always with these games. You play the vanilla version once, and then
Yeah, yeah.
after that it's modded for the rest of the time.
I haven't touched the vanilla version of Skyrim since the PS3 version.
Yeah, so it's
Like when I see how the menu looks in the
yeah,
vanilla version, like, I can't work with that. No way. I've got to get like a completely different menu.
yeah,
Yeah. I
no,
wouldn't be able to navigate it. I'd be like, no
yeah,
way, dude.
no, it's
That's
fun.
that's that's way too clunky for my liking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I probably should have like done a bit more research about like upcoming games. Maybe we can make that into a separate video, I guess. But
Yeah, yeah. It'll be a short one because there's not many that I
no,
can
yeah, that's it. That's it.
probably something to touch upon about later on in the year once a few more
Yeah,
games have come out
maybe sort of
and
springtime.
people start taking note of which games could potentially be considered for game of the year.
Yeah, yeah. No,
Okay.
that's fair.
Okay, let's leave it there now because we've been talking for a little while now. Thank you everybody for watching. It's good to be back again. Oh, and thank you for 100 subscribers. That
Oh
sort of
yeah,
ticked
yeah,
up as we were absent. So
yeah. I
thank you
did.
very much for that.
You messaged me the other day. Oh, we got 100. I was like, oh shit, yeah, we better do a video
Yeah,
then.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Great news. Watch this all go down to 99 and
Yeah,
98 now, sod's law. But
yeah,
if it does stay at 100 or continues to go up, thank you so much. Please leave a comment if you want to get involved or get into any discussions with us. You know, we try and respond to all comments that people leave because we love engaging with you.
we appreciate you, and yeah, leave a comment of what other topics you want us to talk about. And yes, been good to be back, man.
Good to be back. Great chatting with you, Sean. I'll see you tomorrow at Band Practice anyway, but good
Yeah,
chatting with you regardless. And everyone else, you guys have a great day and yeah, see you very soon.